Good morning, happy Sabbath, all folks around the world. We invite you in to listen. We're doing a breakdown. We're going to unpack Deuteronomy chapter 5. This is for the new people new to this kind of teaching, new to the truth, because we're called to worship in spirit and truth. And these churches are not telling the truth, people. They are not telling you guys the truth. But we're going to unpack Deuteronomy chapter 5 and so if you would, I'll give you a couple of seconds to get to Deuteronomy chapter 5. And we're going to do the whole chapter. There's 33 verses here. We're going to read it, then we're going to unpack it. And we're going to get started right now with Miss Taylor.
Okay. And Moses called all Israel and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your presence this day, that you may learn them and keep and do them. It says the Lord your God, but I'm going to say Yahuwah made a covenant with us in Horeb, sorry. It was not with our fathers that Yahuwah made this covenant, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day. Yahuwah talked with you face to face in the mountain out of the midst of the fire.
All right.
I stood between Yahuwah and you at that time, to declare to you the words of Yahuwah, for you were afraid because of the fire, and did not go up into the mountain.
Okay, look at here. I told this before, just in case you didn't remember. Mount Horeb is where they made a verbal contract with the Father at Mount Horeb. That's where they met him. They came to him. He came down in fire, lightnings. It was people trembling, and he come down on top of Horeb. And Moses was their intercessor, he's like a Messiah type figure. He was an intercessor between the Father and the people, and so he wanted to meet his people. His people wanted to meet him, so they went into a verbal contract. That's what we're talking about right now at Mount Horeb. They marched 6.5 miles from Horeb to Mount Sinai. That's where the contract was signed with the finger of Yahuwah. So that's where we're at right here.
Okay.
So
all right.
Went.
And this is, Patty, you're next. Start with verse number 6 and do 5 verses.
Okay. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make any graven images or any kindness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy upon thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
All right, now think about this. He said right there, I want you guys to look at that. Go back up at one verse. He says, he gave us the first 2 commandments right there.
Yep.
You hear what he said? He said anything that's in heaven, on earth, under the earth, under the water. So we're not to make any type of graven image. And guess what these knuckleheads did while Moses went up? See, it's not here in Deuteronomy, but he was right. This is where he was on Sinai writing with his finger the 10 Commandments. Yeah. And remember, Moses was gone 40 days.
Right.
He was up there for 40 days, and he came back down, and well, y'all know the rest is what you would call history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, I'll tell y'all. I want you to get up here. There's a verse I want y'all to hear.
Okay.
Verse 11, ready?
Yep.
You shall not take the name of Yahuwah in vain. For Yahuwah will not hold guiltless, nor leave unpunished the one who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy, as Yahuwah has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, But the seventh day is a Sabbath to Yahuwah. On that day you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, or your male servant or your female servant, or your ox or your donkey, or any of your livestock, or the stranger who stays inside your gates, so that your male servant and your female servant may rest as well as you. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and that Yahuwah brought you out of there with a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore Yahuwah has commanded you to observe the Sabbath day.
Now think about that. Did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all are to keep, and guess what?
And
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to go over here to, I want y'all to listen. I'm going to throw this one verse into you so y'all know where this is over here in Exodus chapter 31. Listen what he says over here. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, speak also to the children of Israel, saying, truly my Sabbaths you shall guard, for it is a sign.
Okay, so what was that again?
What, 31 what?
Verse 13 is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. So that means it's not going to stop.
Forever, yeah.
It's forever. And people's going to tell you
31,
that
13.
these churches say, oh, the Old Testament, it's already been completed. Really? Yeah, you don't have to worry about the commandments no more. That's what we're to do. That's why I said the good news. Remember, 4 generations. Did you have a question, Tim?
No, I was just commentary.
I was going to say it's extremely important to me that you have 2 commandments that we just read within 3 verses, and then you have the 3rd commandment we just read that took up 6 verses or 5 verses, and it's important. You know, he really elaborated on the Sabbath.
Yep. He made it clear. And see, people don't get the part where he says you shall work 6 days. And this is the problem. I have this problem with people. Well, you can go to church any day of the week. Yeah, you can. You can go to church any day of the week. But guess what? On that 7th one, you make sure that you're at church and you keeping that day holy. He tells you work 6 days and keep it. People just like nothing. It's like you can look in their eyes and ain't nobody home.
And
Yes.
on that 6th day of work, very well may be the preparation for the Sabbath.
For the Sabbath. Look, and see, there's a key of David that I've told y'all about the key. Y'all need to learn what it is. It's kind of like a loophole, a legal loophole. But it's not a loophole. I don't want to make it sound like it's a loophole where, we don't have.
Tell why.
You can do these things because remember, the disciples came to him asking him, what is the greatest of the commandments? And Yahusha told him this. He says to love thy God, thy Father with all thy heart, thy mind, thy soul. And the second one is likened to the first one. Love thy neighbor as thyself. He magnified those commandments. And guess where you can find them at? You think they're in the New Testament? Are they in the New Testament? Absolutely not. Bless you. They're in the Old Testament. He got it straight out of Torah. Torah means instructions.
Yep.
And I'm just saying, and that's what we're to do. He even says it in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 through 19. He says, I haven't come to change the law. I come to fulfill, or the prophets. I come to fulfill it. Not one jot nor one tittle in no wise be changed. A jot is just a little, and a tittle, I've looked these words up, it's just a little mark. That's all it is. He says it won't even, like a comma, not even one comma or a period in there will be changed.
So when people say we're under grace, that's
Conviction.
false.
That's right. See, they gave you a wrong definition for grace. Grace ain't what they tell you it is, unmerited favor. We do have unmerited favor, but grace is conviction. Long as you're convicted, that's God's grace giving you time to make it right.
Like, you better go ahead and
Man,
Do something about it.
do
Yeah.
something.
So,
That makes
I have a
sense.
question that I need to wait
Yes.
to the end.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
So, so if you break one of these commandments,
Repent.
but what if you don't repent?
You better repent.
You gonna be
You in
judged for
trouble
that.
if you don't.
Like,
You will
I'm
be
not,
judged. It's not like nobody at the table can tell you, you're going to hell.
No.
for not
That's
doing
what I'm
that.
saying.
No.
If you break one of these commandments, is that going to send you to hell?
See, that's $1 million question. He tells you to keep these commandments. He says there will be no sin in his kingdom. So if you've broken one and you haven't repented of it, then what would be my guess is, now this is my guess. I'm not speaking for anybody else but me. If you don't get it under the blood, that's called lawlessness. Mm-hmm. That's what commandments means. Without, if you keeping the commandments, you're with the law.
Yes.
But if you're lawless, and remember he said in the last days, lawlessness shall abound. And he says to keep this as a sign. See, there's coming a time where you're going to know his people because we're doing what we're doing now, and we're going to be sought out. It's coming a time where you're going to have to make a choice, and it's like what we were talking about earlier about the new religion. It could be just one world. They're coming. It's coming, but if you're one of his and you stay in, you follow these commandments. That's all you got to do. We're all going to stumble. But honor thy mother, thy father. That's the first one we promise, so your days will be long on the earth. If, in my opinion, if you break this and you don't get it under the blood, which, being his child, he's going to hit you with that grace. Mm-hmm. And you're going to want to.
He's going to let you know. If you're calling on him in spirit and truth,
yes.
You're going to know. He's going to let you know.
But look here, to me, he says his burden is not grievous in his word. Mm-hmm. He says, my yoke is not hard. Mm-hmm. If you can't follow these, I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. I mean, don't put nobody before him over sacrifice. Yes. And see, that's what happened when they come down off of Sinai and Moses found them worshiping a golden calf. But see, that's not in here. Deuteronomy's telling you what it is. Like, this is what you do. Okay, see, there's a verse coming up that I want y'all to hear, and it'll bring this home. All right, Dallas, did you have any more?
I think you read the 15, didn't you? End of 15? Yeah.
Well, go ahead and read to 16 because it's going to come down to two of us will have to do 6 verses.
Honor your father and your mother as Yahuwah has commanded you, so that your days may be prolonged, and so that it may go well with you in the land which the Lord Yahuwah gives you. See, that's the first. If you look at those commandments, that's the very first one with a promise. Mm-hmm. He promises if you honor your mother and your father, you will have your life will be long on the earth. And he's not a liar. The Father don't lie. He can't lie. It's not in him to lie. And so go ahead, Robin, with the next verse.
You shall not murder, neither shall you commit adultery, neither shall you steal, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor.
What do you think that means, guys?
To lie.
That's right. Don't lie.
Mm-hmm. Neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife, neither shall you covet your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servants, nor his female servant.
All right, hold on a second. Now, do y'all think, now this is me just asking a question. I want y'all's thoughts on that. Those last 2 that she just wrote about coveting your neighbor's wife or his whatever, do you think that part of that can fall into don't commit adultery?
Yep.
Matter of fact, is that don't commit adultery commandment?
Yes, it is.
That's exactly what that one is. I was hoping somebody would tell me. Yeah.
But also not committing adultery is not having any other gods before Yahuwah too.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Because
so it repeats itself.
See, it's like you see how it works itself out, and you don't even have to. You just got to follow them. All you got to do is just follow them. And look, I'm going to tell you what. Since I have been following this 10 Commandments, and it's only been probably for what, 5 months, maybe 6. I don't even know if it's been that long, to be honest with you, because I'm free because the self-righteousness of the church. Yeah. Look, man, you can't be wearing that shirt. That's ungodly. And you can't wear that one either, Taylor, because that's a sin. Mm-hmm. See, that's self-righteous, hypocritical nonsense that the church is telling people. Mm-hmm. Dallas, man, You need to clean that up a little bit, man. That's just getting shaggy, and we just don't like that here at this church. You see that? That's called self-righteousness.
You're supposed to have all one.
I was teaching a
One
youth
clothing
group.
line,
I was teaching a youth group at a church one time, and I got my nose pierced. Same thing. It was little bitty, tiny piercing like that, a stud. And I got called into the preacher's office and said I couldn't work with the youth if I had my nose pierced.
And I would say, kick rocks.
And I said, well,
That's your conviction, not mine.
I said, well, I have a question. Can you please explain to me what the difference is between my nose piercing and your wife's ears pierced?
Or the makeup.
Because we're literally talking
Exactly. Now,
a few inches, and she works with the youth.
would you consider what would you consider that? What would you call that?
Self-righteous,
Religious.
hypocritical.
Religious, hypocritical, self-righteousness. The church is full of it.
Traditions of man.
So I've been going to that church for like 15 years and working with the youth.
Yahushua piercing.
On his hands.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
That's right.
Okay, now we're have you done read your 6, Robin?
I read 5.
Go ahead and read one more.
These words Yahuwah spoke to all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more, and he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and delivered them to me.
And read again after a great voice, and he what?
And he added no more.
He did what?
He added no more.
One more time for the people in the back.
He added no more.
How
No
about
more.
that?
You can't wear your
How
nose
about
pierced.
that? How about that? He added. That's
No
where this is
more.
where I wanted to tell. This is the verse I wanted you to drive it home with. He added no more. Now, I got the Ruach Kodesh. He's here.
Yes, he is.
He added no more. That's what he wanted us to follow. Period. There was going to be the only thing that we were going to have to do is eat right, eat godly, eat clean, because he told us that. You can see by going on the ark. He put on 2 of every kind of animal, but of the clean ones, he put on 7. It's right there. Nobody wants to get into the word and read. We know to eat clean. They knew back then, before Moses even came, that was law. That they had to follow that. They ate clean. They're all the way up. Now, he added as punishment sacrificial law. And where did Moses put that? He wrote them on. He put them on the outside of the ark.
Yes.
Where did the commandments go?
In the inside of the
They
ark.
went inside the ark, along with Aaron's staff and something else I can't remember. But they put some kind of, I can't remember. Aaron's staff's in there, I know, and I can't remember the other one. But anyways, he put the arks in there. That's representation. That's symbolic for your heart. Your heart is the covenant. He says to put them. He's going to place them in your heart. And that law was written by man's hand, the sacrificial, because of punishment due. Because of the golden calf. He just got through writing, thou shalt not anything in heaven, on earth, under the earth, in the waters, under the waters. And what'd they do? It wasn't 40 days. And they done did
A
this.
golden jar of manna.
That's it. Yeah, that's what they put in a golden jar. And but see, that's what I just don't get it. He had nothing. He wanted to give nothing else. So guess what? You're going to go into the wilderness. You're going to go in there. He didn't start off and give them 40 years. He was going to lead them in the wilderness to their land. But see, Moses got punished. He got punished for the tablets and hitting the rock, or he got mad with that was Aaron, I believe, that got mad, or one of them got mad and hit the rock with us. But anyway, he got punished and he broke the tablets. And so he got not to go in. But he sent in scouts into the promised land. And see, this is where you add insult to injury.
They come back with.
He come back with, they sent 10 people in. Or 12. They sent 10. And out of the 10 only, and Moses asked them, he said, can we take the land? The Father already told you to go in and possess the land. He said it. So that's all. Enough said. Mic drop. Let's go get it. But yet they still sent in 10 people They were gone 40 days, and when they come back, they had clusters of grapes that were just abnormally big, and other vegetables and other things that were huge. And when they came back, he asked them, "Can we go in and take the land?" They said 8 of the 10 said, "No, we can't do it. There's giants. We're as grasshoppers to them." So we knew the Nephilim still existed in those days.
Yes, sir.
And so we're grasshoppers to them. They were chicken. Only Caleb and Joshua said, "No, man, we can go. Man, we can go. We can take it." The father said, "Go." They wouldn't go. So guess what happened? They got punished again.
Yeah.
They got punished again because of stiff-necked disobedience. What is disobedience? It's called lawlessness.
They kept getting a spanking.
Obedience is called keeping the commandment. That's right. And guess what he did to them? Guess what he did to them? They were gone 40 days. So guess what he did?
Put them in the wilderness.
He did 2 things. He did 2 things to them. He says, anybody over the age of 20 shall not enter in.
Yes.
They'll die before they get there.
Yes.
And he said, y'all was gone 40 days. I'm giving y'all a year for every day you was gone. So they had to wonder.
40
And
more
so
years.
imagine all the people that died off. If you weren't 20 or younger, you's gone, bro. See you later. That's the God I serve. When he says to do
The
something,
who? The Yahoo.
well, he's still Elohim, Aloha. I know. I'm still fresh
Because
in
we've
my
been
mind.
indoctrinated for so long.
But anyways, that's the God. That's the Elohim that I serve because he says obedience. If you're obedient, you're going to be okay. You will do well. It's like the question you asked me earlier. You're going to do well because you're not going. Look, I feel so much weight lifted off of me, guys. I can't explain it just by following these. I don't have to worry about hypocritical nonsense. If somebody wants to say something, all I say is, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you to tell me that I can't wear a nose ring? Who are you to tell me that I can't wear a shirt that says poop on it?"
Is that a beef hot dog?
Yeah, look, that is 100% beef hot dog. Scott Dogs, we only serve beef, nothing else. Beef. Scott Dogs, and where Yahusha is top dog.
That's right.
I get a little plug. But anyways, where we at on the? But y'all see that? No, he added no more until disobedience.
Right.
Just imagine had they obeyed. Where would
They
we be
could
right
have went
now?
right on in and they would have been eating.
And guess
They
what?
probably could have eaten on one grape for 2 days.
All right, now think about this. If they had been obedient, where would this place be right now? Come on, hold on, because he made a promise to Abraham. Y'all remember the promise he made?
How many sons?
He would be as the
father
sands
of
of
many
the
nations.
many. We'd still be there, but guess what? This place would be godly.
Yes.
There wouldn't be no crap going on. None of these people running around like a bunch of wild Indians trying to take stuff and natural disasters. The Lord brings these stuff where people want to believe it or not. Yahuwah allows these things. And when I say allows, it's from him. He uses war to punish people. He uses affliction. And I'm saying, why am I saying this? Because I have the authority to say it. Because why? Y'all got the same authority because it comes from right here. It's in the word. You speak with authority once you got that royal blood flowing through your veins.
Yes.
We're all called to be a watchman. We are. Now, many are called, but few are chosen. And it don't mean just they chose wrong. It's because they didn't choose right.
Yes.
I want to be a watchman
What was it that you said before? We're chosen because we choose.
because we
Right.
choose. He gives you the opportunity to become. And look, people say,
knows that
"Did you know?" And over here, and he says in I can't remember what chapter it's. I think it's Leviticus. He says, "And you can become the sons of God." He says it here. Everybody thinks that's out of the New Testament. It's not. He gives us the power to be sons of God right off the bat. Boom, and daughters. It's over here in the Old Testament. The New Testament is
And those
nothing
that
but a
say that-
refreshing.
yeah.
That's all it is.
That's what New Testament means.
All right,
Refresh.
where we at?
23.
And it came to pass, when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mount did burn with fire, that you came near to me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders. And you said, See, Yahuwah our Eloha has showed us his esteem and his greatness, and he have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that Eloha does talk with man, and man still lives. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yahuwah our Eloha any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living Eloha speaking out of the midst of the fire, as we have and lived? 1,
Now.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And you go near and hear all that Yahuwah our Eloha shall say, and speak to us that Yahuwah our Eloha shall speak to you, and we will listen to it and do it.
You see, they were afraid. You see, right there, he wanted to talk to them and meet them. There was a certain boundary if you go over to Exodus where they couldn't come up to a certain place, but they had to wait. They had to go through a cleansing for 7 days before they could even come and talk to him. Wow. Remember, put on their white. And remember, what's the
sanctification?
What does 7 represent? Completion. So he wanted to speak with his people, but they were afraid. You just go up there and you tell us what he said. No, I want to hear him. Right. I want to go up there and be where I'm supposed to be because he wants to meet us and he wants to talk to us.
I know that's right.
I don't want to stand back.
Yeah.
But see, these knuckleheads, it's almost like you can see trouble coming. This is like a foreshadowing. Because you go on up there, Moses, and do that, and we'll stay here and we'll listen to what you tell. Nah, man, come on. All right. They said they were going to die. They thought they were going to die. Man, you ain't going to die. He wants to meet you guys. See, that's what I don't get. Oh no, I do get it. I do get Hebrews chapter 4 and 12. They got the same gospel that's being preached now. It came there first. It was there, they got preached the same gospel. It's over there in Hebrew. Paul even tells you the same gospel. The only difference was they didn't have faith.
You know what I never understood?
What's that?
Speaking about like death, you hear people say like death is a lie, but it's not. Because in order for it to be a lie, then we would have to be saved by grace, and everybody would believe that. But the truth of it, death is extremely real, and the only death there is eternal death, because we're all all of our flesh on this earth will die.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, right?
Yep.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt what he said.
That's the truth.
Like death is not a lie.
And see, now do you know why?
It's eternal.
That's right. Now do you know why Satan
location,
uses
right.
death to scare you? But see, you can't no more.
Yeah. And it hits me because, you go in these mega churches and sometimes you may feel that I've been into a church before singing and I have felt maybe the Ruach HaKodesh and the music, but when we preach that or when we're singing that and everyone is crying, the Holy Spirit's in there, everyone's crying, then you believe that death is a lie because you think that's what you felt. In all reality, it's just billions of people that believe that.
So you think it's deception? Is that what?
I think that the enemy's in the music and the church.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because guess what? Over here in the Word, he says, I hate your music.
Mm-hmm.
He says he hates it. Mm-hmm. So if he hated it back then, I know he hates it now.
So yes, that's why we should sing psalms.
Mm-hmm.
Psalms.
I'm not sure what, because this is my first time here. I've only been here for a little bit, so I'm not sure what y'all's beliefs are on heaven and hell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I will tell you firsthand, and I really hope that someone hears this, so let me talk a little bit louder.
Yep.
I have personally experienced several times, because I was in the medical field for like 27 years, and not only that, my mother passed away, and I was there in the bed with her when she passed away. She was on hospice, and my mother-in-law passed away in the hospice house. And I was right beside her when she passed away. So on multiple occasions, I have experienced people dying. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to share this for y'all and for whoever may be listening. I 100% believe that there's heaven and hell. Because I have experienced people cross over and reach their hands up and say, you know, like have a smile on their face and like it seems like they are happy and smiling and just joyful. And I have also experienced people that have said out loud, "Let go of me, my legs are on fire." And I have experienced a lot of different scenarios that way, and so you can never convince me otherwise that there is not a heaven and a hell.
Look, I believe there's. I believe it's to me, it's a holding cell. You remember there was before Messiah came, there was paradise and a great divide. You know, there was a great gulf. One side was Sheol, the other side was paradise.
And where's that at in the Word?
What?
Where it talks about paradise.
It's
because it
I've been
says
trying to
hell
find
has
it.
expanded herself.
yeah, because when he
Look
went
it up for
down,
me so I can write it down.
when he died, when people die, if you died in the Father's will, they had to go by these 10 commandments. The gospel was preached to them. Look, we can't say how the Lord says, "I'll show mercy to who I'll show mercy to." So we can't say who's got mercy and who don't. But I guarantee you this: if you ain't into 10 commandments and you ain't in covenant with these 10 commandments, I know without a shadow of a doubt you ain't going to heaven. Period. If you're not in covenant with this right here, you can't, because He says the idolatry, that's a sin unto death. And so if you're committing idolatry and you're lawless, He says no sin will enter into my kingdom. So if you died lawless, that means without law, and you have to believe on Messiah. You have to believe on Him, period. But it's not what they've been teaching us in these churches. Man, you better get, it's always Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. They put Him above the Father. And He's not above the Father. If you read Hebrews, over there in Hebrews, He tells us that He was made above the angels and He was made below the angels, because He knew He had a specific job to come down here and do. And people don't get that. They want to lift Him up above the Father. And what did Messiah tell him? What did He tell him? He says, "You're good. Why you call me good? There's nobody good except for the Father." This is Messiah saying that. And it took me a long time. That's right. It took me a long time to figure that out. He's our high priest, Yahusha. Yes. He's our high priest. And we're to ask anything that we want. We have to ask in His name. You have to believe that He came down here. See, people want to say, that's the gospel. Oh, you got to believe that he was crucified, died, and rose in 2.5 days or 2 days. You can't die on Friday and raise on Sunday. That's the first day of the week. That's first fruits. He rose on Sabbath. And people got Daniel wrong. Oh, it's Daniel. It's going to be 7.5 years. Look, he'll be cut off in the midst of the week. That's talking about Messiah. The oblations will stop. He will be cut off. That was a Wednesday. Now do the math. From Wednesday to 3 days and 3 nights in the tomb. When they went in there to look for Him, He was gone. He was gone. Who are you looking for, they asked. But see, they want to tell you, and I can show you in Acts alone, 85 times in Acts alone, telling you that they were keeping Sabbath. 85 times it's in Acts. But see, these know-it-all preachers, the holier than thou, know more than. See, He says, "I'll raise up my pastors." You can have your pastors in these from these cemeteries that you go to. You go ahead. I'll raise up my pastor. He says that in the Old Testament, in Isaiah. He says it over in Jeremiah and Ezekiel. He'll raise up His own pastors, and that's what He's doing. He's raising up people that aren't afraid to tell the truth. He's raising up people that's going to tell what's really happening in the Word of God. See, everybody thinks, "Oh, this Bible's for the whole world." No, when He separated Israel from scattered them to the four corners of the earth, He let them grow in the mix. The wheats and the tares grow together. He gave Gentiles a way to go to the kingdom. Right. It wasn't going to be like that to start with. It was going to be His people only. And see, people don't want to, well, God won't do that. Really? He won't suck up his own people and let the whole ground fall out and let them fall. Really? He don't do that? Yeah. He didn't flood the earth. Exactly. He won't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Really? Come on. But anyways, that was a good story. I loved it. And I just get wired up sometimes because
Yeah, we all do.
I can't stand stupidity. And there's a lot of people that's dumber than a sack of rocks. They are. And it's a
Tell me
shame.
that the firmament ain't real. I'll be
Yeah.
like, can you please not?
All right. Do you got any more to read or is it my turn?
I read 5. I think.
Go ahead and read one more. I
I'll
remember.
finish at 27. So 28. And Yahuwah heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me. And Yahuwah said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They have well said all that they have spoken.
So the Lord was okay with it. But me, I want to get up there. Hey, Father, I can't wait to sit on your lap. I can't wait to talk to you. Can't wait to hug you, love you, and squeeze you and kiss you all over.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. Oh, that there were such a heart in them that they would fear me and guard all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. You see there?
For how long?
That was your question. You hear what he said? Number 29. That they would fear me and guard all my commandments always. That don't mean for 6 months. That don't mean for 600 years. That don't mean for 2,000 years. It means always. That it might be well with them and with their children forever. Remember, we just read over it. Dallas read that part about the third and fourth generation. He'll put curses on people, their children, because of the fathers and the mothers' sins to the third and fourth generation. Now, does that sound like oh man, it's all about love and peace? No, it's not. God will do. He means business. He's a righteous God. You need to fear him because he can do anything that he wants to. He'd rather have mercy than the sacrifice.
Right.
But guess what? People's hard. Their heads are harder than a diamond. And I'm just saying, man, you can't. It goes back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah prophesied this to the third and fourth generations. It just said that right there in Deuteronomy. Now, what about this? Jeremiah says your forefathers will have forgotten my name and given it over to that which is Baal. Now, what is Baal? Baal, what's the 4-letter word in English for the word Baal? Lord. How about that? Mm-hmm. But King James saw fit to put Lord in our Bible everywhere. Yeah.
And that's something that we're having time getting out of our vocabulary because that's what we're so used to calling.
All right, go say to them, get into your tents again. But as for you, stand here by me, and I will speak to you all the commandments, that the statutes and the judgments which you shall teach them, that they may do them in the land that I will give them to possess. You shall guard to do them, therefore, as Yahuwah your Elohah has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand nor to the left. Why do you think Christ said you stay on the straight and narrow? You don't go to the left, don't go to the right, but stay dead on the straight and narrow. You shall have your way in all the ways that Yahuwah your Elohah has commanded you, that you may live and that it may be well with you and you, and that you may prolong your days in the land that you shall possess. And guess what? They was like a bunch of, I don't know a good term. I want to use a term of endearment for them. They was a bunch of knuckleheads.
Heathens.
And wouldn't listen to what listen. Can you imagine coming across where water was on dry ground? That means there wasn't no mud. It was dry. He said he walked across.
There was dust.
You seen that. And you walk through that and you still gonna be like that. It blows my mind. You just walk through towers of water on each side of you.
Right.
You watch
and
the
fish
Egyptian.
looking at you like, what the heck?
Yes, and you just watch the Egyptian army get swallowed up by this. it's mind numbing. It is mind numbing that people won't listen, and they're going to go to somebody and listen. Hey, I ain't taking the man's word for nothing. And I'll tell you guys again, don't listen to me. If somebody has something that they think that I didn't say right, well, tell me, because I want to know it, because I want to fix it. I don't want to be. I want it fixed because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the Father.
You don't want to be arrogant.
I do not want him to say, "Hey, you get punished." I have been took behind the woodshed many times throughout life because I hadn't listened, and it makes me wonder that He put me on this path with that accident. Is that where it started? It may be.
Remember the gas coming out of the phones?
Oh yeah, man, I've had some visions. I'm gonna tell you guys where I've seen some things that are unsettling. I have seen the separating of the sheets and the goats, and I seen that. I had that vision about 2 years ago, guys. But anyways, we digress. I'm gonna let you guys go. Y'all have a blessed Sabbath day. Remember, work 6 days. Keep this day holy for the Father. Y'all have a blessed day.